Hello everyone and welcome back to Copper Supply. In this video I'm going to be giving you an overview of KiloAIO, so let's get straight into it. At the beginning I'm going to be talking about the functionality of the actual program, so you can go ahead and resize it like so on the corners, just like so, and also at the top you have the X button to go ahead and exit the application, the full screen button and the minimize button, and then you have the current version number at the top right. So I'm going to hit the plus to go into full screen mode, and as you guys can see it is now in full screen. So I'm going to begin at the settings bit. So you have your Discord username and also the version of the key. So currently ours is in beta, and then for our API keys we have 2-catcher API key. We can go ahead and enable AYCD autosolve, and upon doing that it allows me to put in my autosolve access token and our autosolve API key. I'm going to go ahead and disable that. When I do that the options disappear. However, I can go ahead and put in my Discord webhook, and once I do that I can actually send bypass notifications if I wish, and also send an example message to that webhook if I wish. Moving over to miscellaneous, I have play sound at checkout and play sound on capture. I'm going to go ahead and activate that. Then for quick task purposes I can go ahead and choose a profile. There's nothing on that drop down because we have yet to create a profile. The same thing for our proxy list. And then for sizes you can go ahead and scroll through and choose your size, and for mode you can choose human, fast mode, and fast mode. And then for task count you can go ahead and use the arrows to go ahead and configure your task amount. Alternatively you can go ahead and type in a task amount as well. Then we have our delays. At the moment the default is 5,000 monitor delays, 5,000 error delays and 5,000 checkout delays, all in millisecond based. So I'm going to leave that alone, and once you change everything make sure to hit the save button to go ahead and save all the changes. Moving over to the rates and account section, this section is actually broken down into two places. You can't obviously see it because there's no line, but the line kind of goes down here. So you have this section for accounts and this section for rates. So we have the accounts header and it says actions, label and email. So I hit add account, you can go ahead and add account here. So for the purpose of this overview I'm going to go ahead and add an account here. That doesn't actually lead to anything, but give me a moment. So when I hit add, as you guys can see my label was video test, so I can distinguish it. So the label is video test, the action is only to delete, and the email it shows you there. So I can go ahead and delete it if I wish, which is what I'm going to go ahead and do here, and it goes and deletes. And now for the rate section you have the rate subheader, and similarly you have actions, label and name. You can click add rate and you can go ahead and add your shipping rate text, the shipping rate label, and add from text as well. So you can go ahead and do that if you wish. Now for the proxies page you can go ahead and add your proxies here to work in association with your task. So you have the IP, port, username and password. If you want to go ahead and add a proxy you hit the add proxy button. This screen pops up, you can put your proxies in there. So give me a moment here, I'm going to go ahead and grab a proxy and put it there. I've got it and blurred it out, but there is a proxy there as you guys can clearly see. Then you have actions, proxy list name and count. So I'm going to call this video test and then click new proxy list. This goes ahead and creates a new proxy, and as you guys can see the actions are to delete. The proxy list name is video test and the count is currently 0 because I haven't hit the update proxies button, which is what I'm going to go ahead and do now. So I've hit this, it changes it. Now moving on to the Raffle section, this is where you can go ahead and create tasks for Raffle purposes. So at the moment there is a test task. When you go here you have your actions, which is the start, stop, edit and delete. Then you have the website, which you can configure, the shoe name, the account, the proxy and the progress. So and then at the bottom you have the start all button, stop all button and delete all button. And moving over to the profile section, you can go ahead and add profiles here. You have the import profile button which opens up a file directory, the export profile button if you want to take your profiles within Kilo and take it somewhere else, and the segregation of your profiles is through actions, profile name, full name, email address and credit card. So I'm going to go ahead and click create profile here. You can go ahead and configure your profile info. So my profile name is going to be called video test, and it is important to remember that later in this overview. And then you can actually configure your profile in certain options. You can click it to only check out once, and also you can configure different shipping if you wish. And then as you guys can see you have a separate billing from shipping, but I'm going to go ahead and deactivate that because I want my billing and shipping to stay exactly the same. And then you have the option to go ahead and use PayPal if you wish. So if you want to do that then obviously it will go ahead and use PayPal, but if you don't then you have to actually put in a card number here and all the details associated with that. And then for your billing and shipping details you have your full name, telephone, email, address, apartment/suite number, zip code, city, then obviously your state and then your country, which is through a scroll down. So I've gone ahead and filled out my profile details. I'm going to go ahead and hit the save button, but I can also hit cancel if I wish to go ahead and delete this profile and start over. So I'm going to hit save, and as you guys can see, the profile has been created. And then for my actions, I have the pen button to go ahead and edit it if I wish, so I can change anything if I wish. If I was to change my name to Sam, for example, and hit the save button, as you guys can see, my name changes to Sam Doe. Then for my profile name, it's the one we configured, which is video test. Your full name appears here, your email appears here, your address does, as well as your credit card. Now moving over to the task section, you have your number of tasks, the action, the website, the mode, the keyword, link or variant, the profile, size, proxy and status. And at the bottom you have the start all, stop all and delete all button, which affects every single task in here. And then you have the add task button, which we will get to in a moment, the mass edit buttons. You can go ahead and change method, the URL as well as the password, the captcha, which we will get to in a moment as well, the PayPal button, which goes ahead and opens up Kilo PayPal so you can log in, and then the cookie button to go ahead and harvest some cookies. So just to break this down, you have your action, site and count. You can put in a proxy as well, and alternatively you can import cookies, which opens up a file directory. So if I were to go ahead and hit this, it goes and it opens up Champs Boards and goes through that entire process. So for the purpose of this overview, I've gone ahead and single out an item, the Supreme Nalgene 32 OZ bottle. I'm going to go ahead and grab the link. It's important to note that red and black are both in stock and it retails for £34. So I've grabbed the link, I'm going to X out that tab. I'm going to go ahead and hit add task, and then I can begin configuring my task. So for store, I'm going to go ahead and hit Supreme. However, it is important to note that all your tasks are going to be adaptive depending on what you actually hit. So I'm going to hit Supreme here, and as you guys can see, things have changed. And then for your size, it is not available, so I'm going to go ahead and hit a random. And then for style, I'm going to go ahead and put black, as I just prefer to get a black one. And then for your schedule task, you can go ahead and enable scheduler and go ahead and schedule a time based on your local computer time. For task specific delays, if you hit this, you can go ahead and change these delays, and it will ignore the delays in settings, which we recapped previously in the overview. Then for Supreme options, you can do custom quantity and disable capture bypass, which is what I'm going to go ahead and do because EU Supreme does not have capture bypass. Then for your category, you need to go ahead and configure this. I'm going to put accessories, and then for your method, you have URL, keyword and variant. I'm going to put a URL in here and put the URL right there that I copied from my browser. Then for my mode, I'm going to go ahead and put human fast mode there. Then for my profile, it is a drop down, so I can go ahead and choose all my profiles, but only one has been created in this overview called video test. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that, and as you guys can see, it has gone ahead and been added. Then for proxies, I can do the same thing with a drop down. I can hit no proxy or video test. For the purpose of this overview, I'm going to go ahead and hit no proxy, and if a task count, I can go ahead and change this if I wish by using these arrows or going ahead and typing in a number. Now the last thing to go ahead and do is hit the add task button, and as you guys can see, a task has been created. So it's number one task. We have the actions associated, which I will recap in 1 second. Then we have the website, which is Supreme, the mode, which is human fast, the link, keyword or variant, obviously we went with the link, so there's a link there, the profile, which is video test, the size, which is random, the proxy, which we've configured it to have no proxies, and the status, which is stopped because he has yet to do anything. So before we go ahead and do that, I want to go ahead and check out the capture button. So if you hit this, a capture solver goes and pops up the Kilo capture. It's currently on 1 because it's the first capture. Obviously if I hit this, it goes to 2 and it pops up 2, but that is completely up to you if you wish to do that. I'm going to go ahead X and stick to 1 here. Then it says waiting for capture with a little animation there, and then if you hit this, it says all capture, checkpoint or checkout. I'm going to go ahead and leave out all capture. You can go ahead and put a proxy in there and hit the set proxy button, and then you can log into your Google account by hitting this if you wish, which I'm not going to do. And you can also refresh it with the refresh button at the bottom. So I've gone ahead and resized it here so you can see the task overlay as well as the Kilo capture here. But then the final thing to recap is the actions. We have the start, stop and edit button. So we have the edit button, it takes us back to the add task page and we can go ahead and change anything. However, I've gone ahead and configured it the way I like, so I'm going to hit edit task, it takes me back here, and I can also duplicate the task by right clicking on the task and it goes ahead and duplicates it. But I'm going to delete it. And one last thing to recap before we go ahead and finish up here, I can go ahead and when I do my keywords, one thing to note is that it's in a positive negative formation, so I can hit plus positive, comma plus negative. So what I'm actually going to do here is go ahead and do plus Nalgene because that's within the name, and change it to keyword and hit edit task, and it goes and changes it. So I'm going to hit the start button, give it a second, waiting for product added to cart. It goes through the process, and then essentially it's going to go ahead and loop on this status because the information is incorrect. However, as you guys can see, everything works perfectly. I can go ahead and hit the stop button whenever I like, and the status goes to stop. So that concludes the overview of KiloAIO at Cop Supply.